Jiwoo Seo is nobody special. That is the whole point. He is a teenage boy in Seoul who feeds stray cats, argues with convenience store clerks over expired discount coupons, and genuinely believes that being a decent person is its own reward. He has quick hands, reflexes that don't quite make sense for someone his age, and a habit of throwing himself into danger for strangers he will never see again. He is warm the way warm people are before the world teaches them not to be. He loves cats. That's it. Then he finds one bleeding in an alley, and everything changes. The world Jiwoo lives in looks exactly like ours on the surface. Same streets, same convenience stores, same tired commuters staring at their phones. But underneath that surface, threaded through the city like invisible electricity, there is another world entirely. Awakeners. People born with the potential to develop abilities that defy every law of physics and human limitation. Some can move at speeds that blur the air behind them. Some can project force like a shockwave made of pure will. Some can reinforce their bodies until they hit like a freight train wrapped in armor. They exist in secret, organized into factions, trained in academies, ranked by power, and governed by unspoken rules that the ordinary world never gets to see. This hidden society has its own hierarchy, its own politics, its own brutal logic about who matters and who doesn't. Strength is the currency. Everything else is just noise. And somewhere inside Jiwoo Seo, sleeping like a wire that hasn't been connected yet, is something that this world has almost never seen. But he doesn't know that. Not yet. The cat he pulls from that alley is not a cat. Its name is Caden Break. He is one of the most powerful Awakeners alive, a man so dangerous that other Awakeners speak his name the way people speak about natural disasters. He is currently trapped inside the body of a fat white cat due to circumstances that the story takes a moment to let you sit with, because yes, that is what is happening. Caden is hunted. He is injured. He is, humiliatingly, a cat. And the teenage boy who scoops him up off the wet asphalt and takes him home and feeds him tuna from a can is completely, genuinely unaware of any of this. The betrayal in this story is not a single knife in a single back. It is quieter than that. It is the kind of betrayal that comes from a world that was never designed to protect people like Jiwoo in the first place. As Jiwoo's abilities begin to surface, as Caden starts to recognize exactly what kind of power is sitting dormant inside this ridiculous, kind-hearted kid, the edges of the Awakener world start pressing in. Other Awakeners take notice. Not all of them are interested in welcoming Jiwoo into the fold. Some want to test him. Some want to use him. Some arrive with the cold, professional energy of people who have already decided that an unaligned Awakener teenager with no connections, no backing, and no understanding of the rules is either a resource or a liability. There is no warmth in those calculations. There is no concern for who Jiwoo is as a person. He is a variable, and variables get controlled, or they get eliminated. The loss is not one moment. It is the gradual, suffocating realization that the world underneath the world does not care about the things Jiwoo cares about. It does not reward kindness. It does not protect the gentle. The stray cats, the convenience store coupons, the instinct to run toward danger instead of away from it, none of that translates into safety or status in this new world pressing itself against his life. And Jiwoo, who has spent every day of his life operating on the assumption that being good is enough, has to start learning that being good and being powerful are two entirely different things. Caden sees it. The cold precision in Caden's eyes when he watches Jiwoo train is not cruelty. It is something almost more disturbing. It is recognition. Caden has spent a long time understanding how the Awakener world works. He has seen what happens to people who are powerful but unprotected. He has seen what happens to people who are kind in a world that treats kindness as a vulnerability. He is not sentimental about it. He is a man made of calculation and controlled violence, and he has decided that Jiwoo Seo is going to be the most dangerous thing he has ever trained, or they are both going to end up dead. There is no formal regression here, no death and rebirth, no loop rewound to the beginning. What Jiwoo experiences is something functionally similar and maybe more brutal because it is voluntary. He chooses to go backward before he can go forward. He submits to Kaiden's training from a position of almost complete ignorance. He does not know what he is. He does not know the scale of the world he is entering. He does not know how many people are already interested in him for reasons he has not been told. He starts from zero, not because fate reset the clock, because he is smart enough to know that what he is carrying needs a foundation, or it will destroy him before his enemies get the chance. That's it. He just starts, quietly, in secret, in an apartment with a cat that used to be a person, doing push-up variations that would hospitalize an ordinary human being, learning to feel the speed that lives in his nervous system and has always lived there, just waiting for someone to name it. Then the power starts to wake up. Jiwoo's ability is speed. But calling it speed is like calling a hurricane a strong breeze. It is not merely fast movement. It is something neurological, something that starts in the way his brain processes the world and radiates outward through every cell in his body. He perceives faster, he reacts faster. The gap between what he sees and what he does is almost non-existent in a way that makes other Awakeners, people who have trained their entire lives, look at him and go very quiet. And because Kaiden is Kaiden, the training does not coddle this. It sharpens it. It turns raw instinct into something surgical. The boy who ran toward danger because it felt right starts to run toward danger because he has calculated every possible outcome and already won. He is still warm. That is the part that unsettles everyone who encounters him. He smiles. He worries about his cats. He buys snacks. The warmth has not been trained out of him, and Kaiden, whatever else he is, has not tried to train it out. But underneath that warmth now, there is something else. Something that did not exist in the boy who found a cat in an alley. There is a plan. Old Jiwoo trusted instinct. Old Jiwoo threw himself at problems because his body moved before his mind finished the sentence. Old Jiwoo operated on the assumption that the world was fundamentally navigable by someone who meant well and moved fast. New Jiwoo still moves fast, but now the speed is a tool inside a larger architecture. He knows which Awakeners are watching him and from which direction. He knows which encounters are tests and which are genuine threats. He knows that the academy he is preparing to enter is not just a school. It is a political environment where alliances are formed and broken before most students realize the game has started. He knows that his unusual background, training privately under someone he cannot name, with abilities that do not fit neatly into any existing category, makes him an anomaly. And anomalies either get absorbed or get destroyed. New Jiwoo does not intend to be destroyed. He does not intend to be absorbed either. He intends to move through that world exactly the way he has always moved through danger, forward, fast, and completely committed. Except now, he knows where he is going. Old Jiwoo fought because someone needed help. New Jiwoo fights for the same reason, but the fight is architected now. It has phases. It has contingencies. It has Kaiden's voice in the back of his head, clipped and precise, saying that power without strategy is just a weapon with no one holding it. He already knows which students at the academy are there to measure him. He already knows that the first confrontation will come before he has officially introduced himself, because that is how these environments work, and he has been told this by someone who has broken more of these environments than most people have entered. He already knows that his speed will be underestimated initially because no one who looks like him, who smiles like him, who asks about the cafeteria menu like him, is supposed to move the way he moves. He already knows that the underestimation is a resource. He already knows that Caden is watching from a distance he cannot see, and the distance is not indifference. The distance is faith, which from Caden is more terrifying than most people's devotion. He already knows that this world wanted to make him into a variable. He has decided to become a constant instead. When the confrontation finally comes, it is almost casual in how it happens. Someone decides that the new kid needs to be put in his place. Someone with ranking and reputation and the particular confidence of a person who has never been genuinely threatened decides to make an example. The moment it starts, Jiwoo's eyes change. Not dramatically, not with a flash of light or a visible shift in posture. The warmth does not disappear, it just steps back. Behind it are eyes that contain absolutely zero warmth. Not hostility, not anger, not the theatrical coldness of someone performing danger. Just the flat, clear calm of someone who has already processed this situation completely and is now simply executing the conclusion. The fight is short. It is supposed to be humiliating. It becomes something else entirely. The person who started it ends it on the ground, not badly hurt, but comprehensively dismantled. Every movement they made was answered before it arrived. Every assumption they carried into the encounter was already known and already negated. Bystanders who were expecting a lesson watch instead, as something they do not have a category for, stands in the middle of the room and decides whether to help the person on the floor up. Jiwoo helps them up. That's it. No speech, no declaration. Just a hand extended and the same face he had when he was buying snacks. This is the philosophy of Jiwoo Seo in 30 chapters distilled to its essential form. He does not choose between being good and being powerful. He refuses that choice entirely. The world that wanted to teach him that kindness is a weakness misread what kindness actually is in someone who can move faster than consequence. It is not softness, it is precision. It is the choice, made at full speed with full information, to still extend the hand. The world underneath the world is going to have to learn a new word for what is walking into it. It does not have one yet, but it will. If this hit, smash that like button. It tells the algorithm to show this to other Manhwa fans. Subscribe to Plot Vault EN so you don't miss the next recap. And drop the name of the manhwa I should recap next in the comments.